All right. So I believe everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, I'll just go over just something brief about LFI and RCE, then we'll go into the demonstration. I usually make the theory aspect a little bit short because uh this is something you could like do some research on yourself, and there's a lot of information out there, but all my classes are mostly and mainly demonstrations. So we wouldn't waste much time on theory, but would spend more time on demonstrations. But if I'm going too fast, just call me back and say, "Oh, I don't understand what you said here. Could you explain again?" And I would go back. All right, and you could, if you don't want to turn on your mic, you could type in the chat. Hopefully, I see it, and we'll go from there. But once again, is that a message? That was fast. Hold on, what was that? Oh, perfect. All right. Uh, Sometimes when I'm teaching, I don't look at the chat. I believe Reagan is here. She could check the chat and just let me know, oh, somebody said something right there. Because I don't check the chat no stop. Skips my mind. So anybody could help me. That's for that. Today we're gonna talk about LFI and RC vulnerabilities. And these vulnerabilities have been in existence for a long time, and even to date, hackers still exploit these vulnerabilities in web applications. And just gonna go over through this PowerPoint slide, and we look at LFI first, which is local file inclusion. And what is local file inclusion? So LFI is a vulnerability that allows attackers access sensitive files on a web server by exploiting weaknesses in how web applications handle file paths. So basically, it's a security vulnerability in web applications that allows hackers access files that they're not supposed to access. So that's what it is. So with people who have knowledge in web development, you would understand that when you create a website, there's some files that the users are not meant to see. Only probably you and the admin have access to those files that the person who's just visiting the site is not supposed to see. Well, but sometimes web developers don't do the right stuff or don't have the proper knowledge of securing these files, and they get exposed. And the truth is, some web developers, sorry, don't have the knowledge in cybersecurity. Like they just feel like a website cannot be hacked, or nobody's gonna hack my website, so I just create it however I like. Well, that's not the case. So the base definition is what you see right here is just a vulnerability that allows attackers access sensitive files that they're not supposed to access. And the basic analogy is basically like a guest in your house finding a hidden key, accessing all the locked rooms without permission. That's what it is. That's just the basic explanation of LFI. So when you hear LFI, this should come to your mind like an attacker accessing sensitive files that they're not supposed to be accessing. Just moving on. Now, why is it dangerous? So why is LFI dangerous in web applications? unauthorized access. So hackers, when they exploit LFIs, they could access sensitive information such as like files containing passwords, user data, configuration settings, and also LFI serve as a stepping stone for further attacks, allowing attackers to inject malicious code into a server's log or exploit like other vulnerabilities, which I've seen before. Because some web developers, I think all of them, but I'll just say some, they use log files on their servers. And with LFI, attackers could view the log files. And if an attacker can view your log files, then that's basically game over for you. So that's something you don't want to do. And so what we have next. Now, common exploitation techniques. So a lot of people know this directory traversal. It's a method where an attacker tricks a website into accessing files outside its intended directory. So most of you might know the sequence where you put that dot dot, then forward slash, then you keep doing that, then you specify a directory you want to read, and it just prints out the whole stuff. So that's basically what the directory traversal is with the dot dot and slashes to instruct the server to move up one directory. So that's basically you just sending uh commands from the URL input field to tell the server to move up one directory so you could read files. So how this is done is the attacker manipulates the input, like where you put your URL, and then navigate to the server's file system with a dot 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 forward slash and specify a path just to move up several paths and to read sensitive files. That's basically what it is. Then you have log poisoning. And most times, log poisoning, you might not come across. People don't often do that, but uh, hackers who have been in the game for like a long time, they still try this stuff because years back, probably even before I became a hacker, they this was hot. Like it was real big log files, poisoning log files, and uh, I've gone through some try hack me modules. I haven't seen something like this. Probably I skipped it. I don't know. I don't know if they have something with log files, but um, so log file is basically a technique that involves the attacker injecting malicious code into the server log files. Again, you can see I mentioned log files. So, like I said before, if an attacker have access to your log files, it's basically game over for you. So they access like the log files like uh error.logs, access.logs, htv.logs. And so in the input field, the attacker imputes commands in the log file as recorded in the log file, and they input executable code, and then the attacker uses LFI, which is local file inclusion, to include the logs, causing the server to execute the malicious code. So first, what they have to do is first inject the code into the log file, then use LFI to include the file, so the server could run their malicious code. It could be a reverse shell, it could be malware, it could be whatever it is. And old websites use log files, like for example, when you have like a feedback field where they'll ask you, how do you like give us your feedback on this website? What do you think about this website? Most times, that's old website, they would log the feedbacks in a file, and the admin could go back and read that file and see, oh, this is what this person said. But because of the log file poisoning, which was big back in the day, they stopped doing that. So what they do now, if you see modern websites, when you type in the feedback, they send it to the admin's email. So it's not going to be saved on the server in a text file. It's going to go straight to this admin email. That way, command is not going to be run on the server. But for old website like or running on old servers or on patch servers, it's going to be saved on the server. So you might want to look out for that. And next, we have base 64 encoding. A lot of people know this, and base 64 is basically binary data as a way of representing binary data using like ASCII characters. Attackers could use this to bypass security filters that block direct access to certain files. So some developers do a good job at putting some restrictions where uh, hackers can view files like in plain text and stuff. So they use that base 64 encoding to encode the files, then thereafter decode the files, like going in circles. So it's just you also doing LFI, but you're just using base 64 to encode it. And there's double encoding where you encode the dot dot forward slash, you encode it twice. So thereafter, when you encode it and give that to the server decodes it twice. So it's basically the same thing as dot dot forward slash, just that you're encoding it twice. And we'll see this when we do the demonstration, how easy it is. Just probably have to apply some logic. Then accessing sorry. Oh, I didn't hit enter right there, my fault. Then accessing files by extension. So now this is where you have to be good at guessing game. So you have to be good at guessing games. So again, having some knowledge doesn't mean you have to build websites or know how to build website, but having some knowledge helps you in this step. So there are some files that some servers have by default. Except they change the names, and they don't usually change the name because developers don't change names because um they could have another script that they want to use that configuration file. Like they want to call that file to the script. Like for example, I write a script and I want to call my configuration file. I'm not going to change the name because that's going to be confusing. So that files like with extensions like .ini, .ini for initialization. There's .conf configuration, .log, and stuff. So some of the default files are like settings.conf, configuration.ini, and so you want like they might be on the server, so you could guess and just type the names in, and you could read those files, and it shows you the whole configuration of that server, the whole settings, the networks, and everything about that server. So sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there, sometimes it's renamed. So it is what it is. And now RCE vulnerabilities. That was for LFI. And with RCE, see what RCE is. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had to check something now. RCE, so let me move this a little bit. RCE is a vulnerability that allows attackers to run arbitrary code on a server from a remote location. That's just the basic definition. And if you want to know more, like there's a lot of definitions out there, like 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. You could also search it up, but this is just the basic definition of what RC is. As the name implies, remote code execution. Just remotely executing code on the server. So the analogy is it's like giving a stranger remote control to your computer without your knowledge. You don't know that the person could be in a different country controlling your server and you don't even know. So RC occurs when an attacker exploits a vulnerability in a website to run arbitrary code on the server, arbitrary command. So it's basically they gain access, they read files, they modify files, they drop malware, run execute malware on your server, delete all your sensitive files, and destroy your server. That's really what it is. And why is RC dangerous? Full system compromise. So once they're already in your system, it's game over for you. Like, that's it. They could execute any command. I could do rm dash rf, delete all your files and sensitive files, and you have a bad day. Or I could create files, drop malware, and but the end game is I have complete control of your server, so that's what it is. And again, it's a stepping stone for further attacks. Like I said, I could install malware. I could do other stuff, delete all your files, turn your machine into a botnet, uh, and just run commands. Basically, steal data. That's basically what they do. So, yeah, common exploitation techniques. We have command injection. A lot of people have done this before or know about it, where attacker sends commands to the input field, like basically Linux commands, and that the server would run, like ls-la, sorry, the cat, who am I, like basic commands. You can inject that, and because the server's gonna run it. And there's also command, command chaining, where you run two commands at once. So the success of the last command depends on the success of the first command. So if you had to run who am I, but you spelled it wrongly and it didn't work, then the second one's not going to work. But if you do the stuff right, then both of them should run. And you see that when we do the demonstration. And basically with the command chaining, you could use like semicolon, you could use like pipe, or you could use like the two what's it called, and sign that looks like an eight, just to join the commands together and run them on the server. And there's also you could do reverse shell. That's easy. Reverse shell is easy to do if you understand it well. And basically, them having reverse connection to your system and doing weird stuff. And also, they could drop malware on your system, executing remote scripts using the what's it called, RCE vulnerability. And now with number four, when I show you number four, um, uh, past years when I was in a cyber warrior program one time, where they put us in groups, and we had to do some of this stuff. It was for like a long, it was more than like 2, 3 months. It was like a long program. And how they selected us was from your grades to school. They'll pick you out, put you in categories and stuff, and like basically like a training, but it's an intense training. Like nobody's gonna hold your hand. It's just you and your team. It's either you know it or you don't. So we were doing this stuff. They taught us about executing scripts on what's it called, on the server, and we had to deface a website using malware. And we'll talk about some of that close to the end, because this is the last step in RCE. So probably do that at the end. So that's basically it for RC and LFI. That's just the basic definitions, explanations, and the common exploitation techniques. So look at how to prevent LFI and RCE. Shouldn't concern us, but just so we know it, because I'm on the red team aspect. I'm not all about saving you, but hacking your stuff. Now, sanitize user input by removing or encoding special characters. So what you want to do is you want to sanitize the input so specific keywords cannot, like the server doesn't run them. Like keywords that have like brackets, that has like written down symbol, less than symbol, and like semicolon and stuff that are not like actual text, or when they are using encoding like base64 encoding, you should block that. Use the whitelist approach to only allow expected input formats and values. So same thing number one is saying. So whitelist, like you should block some commands, like some server commands, like shell commands, that you should block that. And like just allow them typing like normal words. If they're typing ls, rm, block that stuff. They're using brackets, semicolon, pipe and stuff like that. Block that stuff. Yeah, regularly patch and update applications and dependencies. So basically, a lot of people ignore number three, and that's not right. Because I'm not sure what year that was, but the FBI, they were able to attack. I don't know if some people heard about the story, but there was a ransomware group called Lockbit. Some people might have heard of that, and the FBI were able to take over the operation, And they did that because Lockbit apparently they were using a unpatched server. And the FBI was able to take over the server and was able to change their websites, modify it in a way just to troll them. And they were able to find who the owner of Lockbit was, a person who countries have been chasing for years. Just because they had an unpatched server, FBI was able to hack into the server and expose them. So it's really important that we when if you have servers, patch them regularly because don't feel like nobody's gonna hack you. You never know when it happens. Because there's a lot of hackers in the world, more than 1 million hackers. So and they're on the machine every day looking for what to destroy. So don't let them destroy your server. That's why you have to update it every time. So that's for theory. And now we're going to demonstration. And this is the fun part. So first, let me connect to my virtual machine. And we'll start with LFI first, then before we go to RCE. So on the way, if you have any question, thanks. If you have any question as I'm demonstrating, just let me know. All right. How do I close this stuff? Can you see my machine?
Yes.
All right, thanks. So now you see I have there's this website I came across. A friend of owns a website and he makes websites and stuff. He's a hacker too, so yeah, that's what it is. So you see we have a shiny website. Looks like a company page, Frederick Technologies. They have an about page. I don't know what they're doing, but okay. They have a company image and it's 2024, Frederick Technologies. Okay. They have services and they do consulting, system integration, and all the fun stuff. They have a contact page. All right. That's their custom email and stuff. Okay. Documentation. Now, when you want to export LFI, the things you see would help you in exporting LFI, right? So if you see user guide, you see product manual and FAQ. Uh, there's only one way to know if it's there are more ways though, but in this situation, there's a way you could tell. If I click user guide, you could say it's printing out the user guide, right? So intellectually, you could tell that there's a file on the server that's probably has user. You can see right here user guide.txt. So the server is reading the user guide from a text file. So if I click product manual, you can see product manual.txt. It's reading that from a text file. If I hit FAQ, it's reading that. Oh, hold on. It's reading that from a text file. So what if we tell the server to read something else for us? Because now we know that the server has been given access to read stuff, and the files that we're reading are on the server. But we could trick the server into reading something else. So if I clear this out, now this is where the dot dot stuff comes in. So you dot 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 dot. So you do like 3 times. Sometimes two's enough, sometimes three, sometimes more. Depends. Just tell them to move up in directories. And you could do, hold on, let me get my mic out of the way. ETC password. You enter right there. What was that mark? I don't know. How did that line get there? Can you see the red line on my screen?
Yeah.
I don't know how I
Yeah.
did that. Think it's some Zoom stuff. Anybody knows how I could take that stuff off? Wait. Um, Pause. Oh, I think I see the eraser right here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. All right. Sorry about that. Now you can see that we've read the etc password file. You can see they have the users and stuff, everything right here. And the etc password holds a list of user accounts. So we can see our user accounts right here. So that's how you find out, like, if it's such, it's one of the ways that you know that, okay, this might be vulnerable because it's reading the files on the server from text file. So we could just trick it to read something else. We could read it. Let's try something else now. Let's do hosts. So now it's reading the file. So we have the host file right here, and this is crazy. Now, so the host file is basically, oh, it's always in plain text, so you shouldn't worry about that. And it just maps out the IP address to the basically some IP stuff. Maps out host name to IP addresses, IP address to host name, and blah blah stuff. Shouldn't worry about that too much, but as long as you can read it, then there's hope. Then another one I would like to try is the what's it called? The shadow. Which is the shadow. So you can keep trying files and see shadow works too. So yeah, shadow holds a hashed password, just in case you don't know. So this is just for directory traversal, right? Whichever is used to the dot dot slash dot 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 slash etc. You specify a file. So it's moving up one directory until it gets to this file. So that's for that. And just so try one more. This is a sensitive file I'm reading right now. And I'm gonna leave etc and go to proc to read the information about the kernel version and basically information about the operating system. Hopefully it helps us read this version. There you go. So it's a Linux version, blah 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 stuff. GNU Ubuntu, September 1st. See what's that? 2022. That's not good. So we have the Linux version right now. So, and one thing I know from my days in pen testing, when you have a version of a server, this single line of text could help you take over this server. You could go on, you could like write a script, or you could just go online and search for vulnerabilities associated with Linux version 5.15.0 generic, and you can see what vulnerabilities they have. You can write your script on that, or you can just go to GitHub and type Linux privilege escalation or Linux takeover or just some keywords. Or just type in Linux diversion, just type it right there and see some scripts that people have written in the past. And the thing about GitHub is you have to be careful with GitHub, not about the malware part, but some of the scripts on they have licenses. So if a script has a license, you don't want to modify that script. You get in trouble for that. You get caught. So you got to look out for the license. And uh, if they have a license, you have to read it. If they tell you that the author doesn't appreciate you modifying his code or using it for business stuff or for a financial gain, then just leave it as it is. So that's for that. And now when I remember I spoke about the log poisoning. So now we're gonna poison the log files of this server. Uh edit this stuff. So most times websites impute logs in certain fields, like for example, I think I saw feedback right here. So feedback log, like I said, old websites, they weren't used to sending the logs to like the admin's email. They would just save them on like maybe a text file or a JSON file or something, and the admin could go back and read them or something like that. So I have a feeling that this page is doing something similar to that. And the only way we could know is if we tried. So, um, just gonna inject a code here and something, see what happens. PHP. So, um, whatever we type in the brackets, it reads this as a PHP file just in case we want to execute a code. But I'll not do that today because yes, we have a lot of stuff to do along the line. But it's basically how you'd write a code in PHP just to so we have get my brackets, mm, my text, use something else. No. So 7001. So make it look fun a little bit. So when they see the message and they see the IP address, they don't understand that a hacker was here. And they'll get scared and they'll update the server if they're smart. Or if they're not, we have access. So it's why you put the file you want to like impute on the server or something like that. But hit submit. Thanks for your feedback. So I have a feeling that this was saved somewhere else. But now, again, this is where you put your guessing game into action. If it's been saved in a log file, there, and first of all, you want to check if it has RC vulnerability. That way you could list all the files in the directory and you could see the log file. But if it's not vulnerable to RCE, probably just LFI or something like that. What you could do is put your guessing game into action. The page is called feedback, so probably it's gonna be feedback.html. So for a basic server, it might be feedback.log. That might be how it's saved. You never know. So first you could try dot that's not good. So, it's not good. hmm At caps lock on. All right. So you can see, I think it ran it twice, probably because I did a refresh. But that's what it was. And you can see it since it's in the log file. So if we were to include this feedback to log into the server and we actually ran like probably a shell code here or something. This was something I did before. Yeah, let's not worry about that one. Let's focus on these two. Now all we have to do now is like if we were to actually do this stuff, is to include this log file in the server and it will run this PHP gets and probably give us a reverse shell, download malware, and run it on the system. And that's basically log poisoning. This is what they were doing then, but now servers don't store log files anymore. Just send it to the email. Like for example, if you just type I like your website and stuff like that, it sends it directly to the email. So it's not gonna stay on the server. That's for log files and log poisoning. Now we spoke about base 64 encoding. Play this real quick. Now, base 64 encoding, like I said before, is the method used to encode binary data such like images, files, arbitrary data, basically encoding it into zeros and ones. Into a text format using the 64 different ASCII characters. So basically what they actually mean is you tricking the server or modifying the input field because sometimes they block you from reading the files in plain text. So you could encode the output, take the output to like a different website, like a tool, and decode it to actually see what the information is saying. Let's see how that works. Uh, now, now, hopefully this works. But basically, we're telling the server that we want to read etc the etc password, but we don't want to read it in plain text because we know you're gonna block us. Encode it for us. I mean, obviously we can't see what is in there, so you're safe. Just encode it. It enter and it should encode it, and you see it's like it's going. Then they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna show you, but I know you can't read it, so it's useless to you. So this is everything that's in the etc, the password. I mean, etc password, the password file. So what you want to do is copy all this, a new tab. Go to I think there's a website called Biz 64 code. Oh, I think it's decode. Just type Biz 64 decode. It enter probably takes you to the website. Yeah, this one. So it should be on decode and paste it right here. In decode. There you go. We've already decoded it. So it's that easy. So that's not in the chat. So basically just tricking the server to review the content of the file in an encoded format, binary stuff. And they're gonna do that because some developers don't know about this encoding stuff. So they just feel like when they block you from reading the plain text, then that's game over. But that's not the end. You could read it in an encoded format, take it to this website or similar website or Python script. I've done it with the Python script before. Just save your encoded text in a TXT file, feed the path to the Python script, and it decodes it, saves it in a TXT file for you. So that's basically using the base 64 encoding trick. All you got to do is, I watch when I change this stuff to false, should bring it out in plain text. See it. So the encoding is right here. Just make encoding and making it true. True right there. Uh, true. Enter right there. You see that. So that's how you tweak like the URL, URI input field and stuff. Just true, false, and code. So it's basically the same thing, just adding some little tricks to trick the server. That's for the base 64 encoding. Hope I'm recording this. Right. Now, so the end result of this is basically us just using the encoding trick to bypass the security filter. So the server returns encoded content, then we could decode it and read the file. That's basically what it is. Then and don't get it twisted, there's base 64 encoding and there's double encoding. So base 64 is like encoding in like ASCII format, binary type stuff. While double encoding is you encoding it twice. As the name implies, double encoding. So with double encoding, so you want to go to this URL encoder.org. This is how you encode your payload, if you want to call it that, right here. And put your uh, dot etc password. The password. Hit enter. Nah. Hit encode. So there's encoded is right here for us. Then copy to clipboard. Probably go back here. Paste this. Hit enter right there. That didn't work right. Probably didn't encode that right for us. Let's go back there. Dot password. Oh, dot. etc password and code. It's giving us the same thing. Probably this is broken. Copy to clipboard. Go back here. Paste that. I think I see the problem. Hold on. All right, there you go. So the issue was we had we had more of the dots. It's meant to be two, so that was three right there. So that's what it was. So yeah, that's how you do it. Just go to the URL. I think that's the website urlcode.org. Put your payload or your tag that you can call it payload, and just put your dot etc password. I could change this to I think we read etc shadow before. You're just encoding it twice. Code, copy clipboard. Go back here. Or I could just put it right here. I could just put shadow. Same thing. I could create shadow file. Okay, this is just you encoding it twice. Double encoding it. So the dot slash is encoded twice. So when the server is doing some decoding right now. So when we paste this right here, the server is decoding it twice as well. That's why we're able to get the result as though it was a dot slash. So same thing, just being written differently and being interpreted differently, but same results. That's how the double encoding stuff works. Then we have the last on the list for LFI, which is actually fun. So, like I said before, you can access sensitive files. Access sensitive files on at the server. I can config that ini, so I'll just type config dot ini right here, hit enter right there. We could read config dot ini. So let me try. Back. So there's no file like config dot log, but I know config dot ini. That's the standard extension. So yeah, and they also have settings. Except it was changed that I tried before. All right. So this is the settings, max connection, and SSL key. So it's stored on the SSL private server.key, professional company app. And this is how you just read config files of like files that you believe be on the server, on a standard server. So you can also like, search it up. What are the standard files that should be on the server? What are the extensions? You could try it out. Does it might work, might not work, but it's worth trying. That's how you could read uh, what's it called sensitive files on a server and see if they're there. Sometimes they get renamed, sometimes they're not there, sometimes, but it should be probably they've been renamed or something. So that's for that. So the .com stands for configuration, .ini initialization. These files are common with, I think they're on Windows system too. If you check your admin, the Windows program files, you should find it there. And also they're also Linux too, as you can see. And yeah, that's basically it. That's for LFI. So before we move to RCE, any questions? If you can't turn on your mic, you can type in the chat. All right.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. I'm actually enjoying the class.
Appreciate you.
And my question is, if
Mhm.
you're doing this to server and probably the server has an IDS, how do you prevent
And,
or how do you do it in a way that the server or the IDS doesn't know what you're doing?
well, for ideas stuff, they detect like probably like it's called intrusion detection system. So we're not intruding yet. We're just reading files. But if we were to intrude, kind of penetrate into the server, we're probably like RCE or like the reverse shell or something like that. But everything we're doing, I believe is being logged in the file, like basically the server logs and stuff. So when you're done with doing what you're doing, I look for a way to delete the file, delete the log file. But with the IDS, it might not pick up anything because we're not really intruding. We're just reading files and stuff. So, but this might be stored in the log files, but I don't think the IDS is gonna go off because we're really not doing like a DDoS or intruding or like a shell connection yet. But when we get to that part, then it depends. Some ideas could detect and like allow the user, but they don't take any like steps to like kick you out, like stuff. They just detect and like allow the user. So you gotta be fast, or you could just use some scripts to bypass detection and stuff. But we're really not doing much. We're not really doing like much stuff that has to like that we have to bypass because we're just reading files and executing commands on the system. So yeah, but if that was the case where we had to intrude and stuff, then bypassing like droppers like Python scripts you could drop help you turn off the IDS or basically IDS is just like detecting like uh, abnormalities in packets like DDoS, pings and stuff, trying to intrude. So you could just intrude using like one step I tried one time is trying to connect from various IP addresses. Yes, IDS might go off, might not go off, but it takes time for the admin to respond to threats. And if you know what you're doing, you go in and act real quick. That's what happens in the real world when you see on the news, Russia hacked this, China hacked this, US hacked this. Yeah, they did it. They know. But could they stop it? No, because they didn't have much time. So sometimes, Jimmy Ward, if it's like a pen test, man, if if they catch you, they did catch you, but were you able to get the job done? Yes, but if they caught you and you couldn't complete the job, then that'd be like you lost. But if they found out that you were in, but you're still able to get the job done, steal the files, and probably delete some files on the server, then that's a win. So that's really what it is. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes,
All
you
right,
did. Thank you. I have a second question.
all right.
These commands that you're using to be able to read files on the server, like
Mhm.
how can we get all these commands? How do we get them and just study and get to know it?
Which of the commands you talking about?
Like the commands like the config commands, and all the ones that you could use for the encryption.
Oh yeah, so it's basically not like commands. I mean, we're just reading files. So like I said, like config files might be on the server, so it's like you're using guessing games. But with the other stuff I did, like you could use this website. So basically, if you've like you have Try Me, I think they have some stuff on Track Me there, but there should be some articles online because basic what every pen tester knows is the dot dot slash slash with the dot dot stuff. So what we're doing is we're doing the same thing, but we're coordinating and tricking the server to interpret it wrongly, or I mean, like interpret it in a different way, basically. So, but there's really no command here. It's just I'm encoding, I'm decoding, I'm double encoding, I'm encoding the binary, and but the real command will be in what's it called? RCE. That's what the commands will be. But with these, I believe you could find like a guide, or you could talk to Reagan, or you could send me a message via email or Discord. I see what I could find. But Track, we should have everything right there. You should have some modules right there where you could play with our LFIs and RC. I think they do. Yeah, you could learn all this stuff. Pretty easy. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
You
Thank
have
you.
any more?
No, no for now.
All right. Any more questions from anybody else before we go to RCE? All right. That's for LFI. So I believe everybody understood LFI, and this video is recorded, so you could go over and watch the game, see what I did, and the sites I went to, and you guys see a chat. Uh, thank you, LFI. Well explained. All right, appreciate you. Now, another message I see. Oh, good. All right, perfect. Now let's get to the fun part, which is RCE. So I've used RCE before. I've exploited that before in the past, and a lot of websites are vulnerable to RCE. And RCE does have a lot more power because I script malware, and it you could upload malware onto a server and cause some damage. That's the easiest thing to do is to infect the server with ransomware. Because some of these servers don't even have antivirus or something like that. So, and the thing that makes it easy is because some developers or some server admins or Linux admins, in admins in general, feel like hackers are only after Windows. So, being that they're using Linux, nobody's coming after them. But that's not true. So, even if you use a Linux, Macs, Windows, Chromebook, whatever you use, they still, if they can, they will. That's all. If they can, they will. So let's get to RCE. First thing we spoke about in the beginning was command injection. And we're gonna see how hackers. So we're gonna leave the documentation page right now because RCE is not gonna be here because this is just reading files. Now we're gonna have to do some remote connection stuff here. So the feedback page is what I want to focus on. With the command injection. So basically, command injection is a vulnerability where an attacker manipulates an application to execute arbitrary commands by injecting malicious inputs like malicious commands in the input field. And this happens because the commands are not being sanitized properly. That's what it is. They're not checking them. They just let them go fly past. And that's dangerous. So first thing you want to try when you get to an input field, like basic commands. Because I see people in pen tests when they try to start stuff, they start with the they take it to a high level before they take it to a low level. So they run the commands like uh what's it called? PSOX, like high level commands, like running commands like ls or using like basic tactics because you don't have to stress yourself too much when all you had to just do was a reverse shell. You don't have to go to GitHub looking for a mighty script to use. All you gotta do is just use ls or use ncat and you'll be good. So in pen test, first try out little stuff first before you escalate, before you keep going to like the next level. Don't just start on level 5 and then come to level 1. So what first you want to do is LS, LS. Uh, uh, who am I first? Root. So watch what happens. I do who am I? Then when I do hi, I love your website. Submit feedback. There's no response. Thanks for your feedback. Why? Because the server has is running this command. Whatever I type here, I don't know for some reason might be running it because if it runs it and it probably finds out that it's not a Linux command or it's not a command at all, doesn't give a feedback. But if I type who am I, there you go. Root. So it gives us a feedback because it's running this command and I could do this. Who am I? What other commands can I do now? Uh could do ls. Who am I? If config. It's crazy. Got the IP address right there. Internal IP address. Got a local host. Nothing too crazy. Got the IPv6. The internet 6, rather. And any command that you can run on your Linux machine, you run it here. And that's what command injection. So like, I think I'm not sure, but people who do bug bounty, they really pay a lot for like command injection. Probably like pay over 1,000 if you document it right and do it right to pay like over 1,000, probably 5 or 10,000. I see people get like 60K, 50K, 40K for like some RCE stuff. So that's what it is with command injection. You could run commands. And after command injection, you have command chaining, like I said before, where you run two commands at once. We could do who am I, then you could use a colon, semicolon, sorry, and you could do uh let me see. Does they have to be together or something? If config. You can see. So you ran both commands together. You ran root. Now you say who am I? This is a response for root. Then if config this is a response. So if I did who but I spelled this wrong, then if config. Second one with if config. With this one, second one runs, first one doesn't run. I see it said thanks for your feedback because they didn't see that as a command, but the second one is gonna run. But I think I don't know how this server interprets it, but if I do the same thing again, who I am, use the end config. There you go. So they both didn't work. Wait, hold on. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, that's what it is. So when you use the colon, if the first one it's not a command or spelled improperly, and the second one is spelled correctly, if it's not gonna run the first one. Just like any Linux, you can do it on your machine too, and they're gonna skip to the second one. When you do the end, you use the two end signs here. It's telling the Linux machine that run this command first, the one that's gonna be here. After that one, go to this one. If this one doesn't run this doesn't run, or if it fails to run, second one's not gonna run. But if you use a colon, you tell her that, yeah, run this first and run this. But if this doesn't work, you still run the second one. That's a different thing, the chaining. One of them has to depend on the first one. The other one doesn't have to depend on the first one. As long as the second one is a command, it could run. But the other one with an and sign, do the double and sign. If the first one doesn't work, second one doesn't work. That's with the command chaining. You could do that. And now this way, so it becomes fun. Talk about reverse shell. So let's try to get a reverse shell on this machine. Expand this. Open another terminal right here. So getting a reverse shell is sometimes easy, sometimes for some people might be. But it's easy sometimes, and sometimes might be confusing for people who are just starting out. But best thing you could do is use NCAT, Netcat basically, and the LVNP, specify permissions. Then basic ports, you could use any other port you want, but like I would like to use 4444, hit enter, and we're gonna listen on any network we have running. Let's close that. Now let's run the command. So this server, the server running this website, connects back to us. And I feel like this is the golden step because like out of everything we've done, all the LFIs and stuff, if we could get only this reverse shell, we could do everything. All the files that we read before, we could just read them from our terminal right there. We don't even have to do them encoding, decoding stuff. We just read them from our terminal. So hopefully this will command shell, then type in your IP address. I don't know my IP address yet. If config 135 192.168 32135 135 332 135 and specify ports right here. So this is how it should look like. Type shell, type your own IP address. Don't get it twisted. It has to be your IP address where you're hosting your NCAT listener, right? Type in your exact port, hit submit. Now, notice that it didn't go away. But he has thanks to your feedback, but it ain't go away yet. Only way to know is when we go back to was this one. Nah, not this one. It was this. It was this one. Should be this one. You can see we have a connection from the machine right there. Just by typing in shell command, and it was able to run that command and give us a connection. So now on the server we could do anything we want. We could we could read I think it's the etc password. See that? I got fruit shell. Yeah. Ah, damn dead. Oh, is that Holalua? Uh, how do I close this? I don't even know. So we're still in. Clear this. I think clear. I don't know. Yeah, that worked. Hold on. I'm wilding right now. All right. Now, I notice that this stuff keeps loading. So this is another like something I have to look out for to let you know that oh you already have the shell, so we're connected. So I could if I wanted to, I don't want to do that. I'll just do our MRF, deletes all the sensitive files in the root directory, RF, but I think it was a star use or something like that. And just delete all the files. and don't have a bad day, probably a bad week, maybe a bad month, but it's not, they're not gonna be happy. So this just shows you that like you having the roots and your roots. Let me make sure we're roots. Let me see who am I? Yeah, we're roots. So like I am roots, so that's what it is. So that's just really what it is. So now we on the server now, so we could, yeah, it's gonna be a bad week or a bad month because they're gonna cry because we could delete all the files. And if you have experience hosting websites, you know that making websites is not a joke. It's a lot of files you have to use, and if someone deletes all your files, you might cry. Yeah, you might cry. So that's how you use shells, connect shell just by inputting stuff in the feedback field or like an input field. And they have a separate reverse shell. And this is like a standard site. And if I was bored, all I got to do is just come to the input page and type in this command, and I have access. And I could do that for life unless they update the server, patch the server. And one thing that keeps us going in this field is the joy and the happiness and the hope that a lot of server admins, system admins, blue teamers, SOC analysts, and whatever it be, they're humans. We're humans too, and but they're on the defense, and some of them are lazy, and we like that. We like it that way. We want them to be lazy. We appreciate them for doing that because if they were doing the right stuff and always being on their feet, we might not be able to hack as much as we do. Because the whole logic is man created this stuff, man could destroy it, yes. But when man doesn't patch the servers, then that's when we come in. So we want them to do what they're doing. We want the companies to keep hiring newbies. Nah, I'm joking. But we just like what happened with CrowdStrike. Yeah, we want that stuff to keep happening. Yeah, we want people who create websites with ChatGPT to keep doing what they're doing. That's what we want. Cause AI, people who code with ChatGPT, you're wasting your time because AI doesn't secure stuff. They could code for you, but they can't secure for you. You could do that yourself. But if you don't know how to secure, then we're happy. We're happy that you don't know how to secure because we're coming for you, coming for your website. So that's what it is. And I've been doing pen tests for like a while, and I've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. I've seen a system admin who's been in the field, like someone who's even older than me. I'm just 19, and he's older than me, and probably he's using admin123 as a password. That's not bad. I like that. Makes my job easy. Keep doing that. Admin1234. Yeah, keep doing that. Pass QWERTY. Yes. I don't blame you. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you for making this stuff easy. So when you see people who are using weak authentication, don't insult them. Don't feel bad for them. It's a stepping stone to your greatness. That's a joke. That's a joke. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about the last one. We're already done the show. Now, this is funny now. And when I like I was saying before, my Cyber Warrior program, we actually did this before. And who's writing stuff? Uh, hold on. Yeah, it's a stepping stone. So what it is yeah. So that's for the shell. Now let's talk about another fun part that you're gonna like. Now, my cyber program, we it was I think we put into teams, and we had to hack into a website. First use SQL. I probably want some time, maybe next class or something else. I'll talk about SQL. But with SQL, then now And when the cyber program, they don't tell you what's in, or like what vulnerabilities to find. You just go there and find stuff because it's a group, so they expect you to think. So, and a lot of hackers I've met in the past, they love destroying stuff. If they believe if we can't have it, you can't have it too. Either you give it up, or both of us cannot have it. So we used the command execution script, like the remote executing remote scripts on a server to totally kind of ducks the server or something like that. I'll show you. That's what we're about to do now. So pay attention. It's gonna be fun. I think who's that? He said that's what it is. Now, first I'm gonna go into my machine right here. Go into OPT. Yeah, yeah, don't worry about this. Yeah, don't worry about this. Let's worry about this guy. Malicious HTML. Now, when people hear about HTML, they feel like it's for a website, it's just to how it's a designing language just to design web pages and stuff. That might be true, but it's not 100% true. HTML could be used to deliver payload. And yes, let me show you. Uh, that's not good. Hold on. I think I have the wrong file. Hold on. Yeah, I think I have the wrong file. But anyways, I had a much a longer one. Let me try to find that, see if I can. Hold on. I'll be back. Just want to show you how HTML could be used to spread malware to execute some dangerous code that could make some people cry. Share my screen real quick. It's a little bit different from the script we're going to use, but I can't show that because of some licensing agreements and stuff, which is nothing new, but I believe you can see my screen, right? Now, this is the HTML file that we're going to use. All this shouldn't be worried about all this. What you should be worried about is this part. Is it was yet? No, not this one. It's something similar to this, but yeah, this is some JavaScript in a HTML file. And you can see it says this site has been taken over by Cybergen and Reagan. And now this is something similar to what the FBI used when they took down Logbit server. So when you want to see, if you go on the dark web, you see a site that the FBI has taken over on the site, you say this site has been taken over by the FBI. That's that, and also when they hacked into I think it's the WikiLeaks or something like that. They hacked the login page. Something I do in one of my next classes. Show you how you could hack a login page. It's called a watering hole attack. And anybody who comes there to log in thereafter, I would have their IP address, login credentials. That's what they did when they tried to hack because they were looking for who's the admin of this website. So they had to hack the login page and they were able to capture all the users because people who, if when you come, you log in and you have your IP address, so they know, okay, you probably have an account here and you've probably done some shady stuff on this website. So they had to look at the list and find out who's always logging in, who logs in the most. It might be the admin. And that's how they found the guy and arrested him. It was a young boy, about like 21 years old or something like that. Crazy stuff. So basically, what this script is doing is is gonna affect the Python script. It's gonna affect the Python script and tell it that as soon as you see this HTML file, leave every other HTML file you have in your server and host only this one. And the Python script is gonna be like, well, I mean, that's what you want. Well, what can I say? And it's gonna do exactly what we wanted to do, and it will be game over for them. And let me demonstrate that so you can see. Hit ls. I have my malicious HTML, the malicious HTML, and so we want to get this onto their server. And anybody has an idea how we could do that? Any idea? For 1 month, try hack me voucher. Have any idea how we could get this HTML file onto that server?
Can
Bright
we try
ideas.
wget
Or is that
wget
doubly getting what?
wget command?
Uh, so what do we do first before we
Uh,
doubly get? What do we do first?
I'm just
can
trying to
I?
guess.
What do
Okay,
we
can
do
I guess
first?
also?
Yeah.
We host a reverse
So
show
say
first, and then
say we do what?
a reverse show
What do we do
first.
to the reverse shell? What do we do to it?
We host a Python server on our local machine, and then with the reverse show we could connect and send the file, and then probably place the file in um in the feedback
That's good.
page or something.
Yeah, smart guy. What's your name?
Zed.
Alright. Hold on. Uh, alright. Communicate with Reagan. I'll send her a trap invitation so she could give that to you. Uh,
Man, I'm so grateful. Thank you so
no
much.
problem, boss. Stay on your feet. Now we have to host our shell. Sorry, our malicious HTML now. And what we gotta do is Python. Hold on. Python 3. I had it right here. Now it's gone. CP server. I think that's right. Oh no, I don't think that's right. Oh yeah, that was right. All right, so we have our server running. What do we do next? What do we do next? You see C. Anybody want to guess? Who's typing? Oh, I see. Smart guy. Carl. HTTP. Now, gotta type my IP address. Again, I don't know my IP. Okay, I think I know my IP address. 192.168.2321 3212135 135. I could put the parts we're hosting this on, and what do I do next? I don't even know. All right, I think I know. Let's see if that worked out right. Oh no, I think that was OPT we used. All right, let me first break this connection first. Oh no, that didn't work because we still had the reverse shell running. So curl HTTP 192.168.232.135. Put 80 right there. Slash put malicious dot HTML. All right, go back and see if it feels okay. So it will download it. We got a status code 200. So let's refresh, see if our stuff worked. There you go. This site has been taken over by Winston and Reagan. You think it's a mistake? Cry about it. Trolling. So now, it's funny, but look, this is how it's done. This is how defacing works and stuff. So basically, what we told, so this is a HTML page, and what we did was to trick the server, the Python script, tell it that as long as you find my HTML file in your server, leave every other file you've been told to host and host this one. That's how the FBI does. I'm not saying this is how they do it, but like one of the ways that they use. Yeah, this is one of the ways that they use. One of the ways we used when we were in Cyber Warrior program. This just deface the website and let it host your stuff. So anybody who comes to this website would know that Winston and Reagan took over this website. And if you think it's a mistake, cry about it. You're not giving it back. So that's what it is. So this is why it's dangerous when your server is vulnerable to RCE because a lot of stuff will go wrong. And if you go to, I think we had a download page before, if you remember. And if we go to the download page right here, what I just do? Download. Was that with an S? I'm not. Raise out this. Don't raise too much. Don't raise too much. Don't raise too much. It loads the same page. I think that there should be on home page. I don't know. Home. I know that's not home page. But let's just hit the website. So the home page or the index is hosting the same page. So every page on the website is hosting the same page. Yeah, so you could put it whatever you want. You could just this is just tricking the Python script, telling it, yeah, you could host this stuff. Yeah, don't host the other one, host this one. That's what it is. So, any questions about this? Questions? You can type in the chat if you want. Could we have the script? Don't do evil. Hey, don't be evil now. It's a dangerous script. Don't be evil. uh, it's just a part. It's just a HTML script with some Java in it, telling the Python script to do something else, something it's not supposed to do. And so, I mean, just an advice if you're trying to like hack a website or do some fun stuff. I advise you try this last, cause when you uh when you do this stuff, there's no going back except you. I mean, because you can't see none of the page anymore, so like this is the end. Like this is just it. You can't even see the feedback where you could like try to get a shell again or something like that. So it's it. Like site is gone. Like so when the admin goes to their website, wakes up in the morning and goes to the site, and it's gonna look like what's going on. Sometimes when we're in the cyber program, what I did one time is I'd move this stuff a little bit like here, and I'll put a button right there, and I'll be like, uh, if you want to get your site back, contact us. So obviously they're gonna hit that button, and when they hit the button, that's just me trolling. I'm gonna be like, psych, we don't want to talk to you. We don't want to talk to you. Nobody wants to talk. Psych. Yo, and they're gonna be going crazy. Like they can't even communicate with us. They can't say nothing. But we didn't do this in like sites that people own. It was like the organization site, and we just made us deface the site and stuff like that. So like having this skills under your belt is like is helpful because uh I see some posts online and I think some hackers, yeah, I don't know where they are, but some kind of organization, I don't know. They've teamed up and said they want to destroy uh uh porn sites as much as they can. So I think as the last month they destroyed, I think over 1,000 or something like that. So they're shutting them down, defacing them and stuff. So they're actually using their skills for good, if you think about it, because that's really what it is. I read in the description. Now I don't think it's for educational purposes, but I think you want to do something else, man. Think you want to do something else. So defacing sites is illegal, so you shouldn't deface someone's site. But my friend owns this, so it's fine. Yep. And that's how you. That's basically RC and LFIs. So I'm still here for a quick chit chat. If you have questions about cyber, ethical hacking, some guidance about the script I use and stuff. Still here. Have about a couple minutes till Reagan kicks me out. All right, hurry up before she kicks me out. I see something in the chat. This is a very insightful session. I wanted to say thank you. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Uh, all right. Is Reagan here?
Yeah, I
Uh,
am. Can you hear
uh,
me?
oh yeah, you've been hiding. What's going on? I didn't even see you. You're a ghost now. Yo, this is a real hacker, yo. She is a real hacker. I learned stuff from her. She's the stuff. She's real in this hacking stuff. Yo. You gotta stay careful. Like she's really into this hacking stuff. I've been trying to ask her to mentor me, but she said no. What can I say? I'm gonna keep trying though. I'm gonna keep trying. You gonna add me to your mentorship program, Reagan? But she said
What
no.
did you say?
Are you gonna add me to your mentorship program? Shit.
No.
That's not good. Keep rejecting my offer. That's not good.
No, okay, I'll talk to my nephew. They
Oh,
want you.
so the guys can add me. I want to learn like Kali Linux basics, but I haven't done any hacking before. I want to learn Linux basics, networking, and all those stuff. Uh, teach me that. Nah, I'm wilding. Now, so this is the end of the class. Hope y'all enjoyed it and stuff. And probably I might be here next. I don't know when I host my next class, but soon enough. And yeah, I could join in as well if Reagan says, "Oh, you can come to my community and teach something." Yeah, that's always fun in teaching because you learn more when you teach. That's basically what it is. So, so yeah. So my next class would be. I haven't decided on the topic yet, but it's not gonna be too far. Because putting out content out there and like spreading knowledge, I believe it helps people. It goes a long way in their pen testing career. Because I believe there's a lot of stuff out there they have to learn, a lot of hacking techniques, a lot of stuff. And I always tell people like, don't live your life on CTS. Don't live your life on CTS. CTS are good. They help you like keep your skills, but don't stop there. Don't stop there. And you don't have to like spend too much money on like some might say like it's It's because of the economy. We can't pay for resources. I mean, you don't have to pay for some of the resources. Some of them you have to pay for it, but some you don't have to pay for it. It's some of them you just have to look for them out there and stuff. And I'm gonna give you a little trick when you're looking for resources. You first have to learn how to use Google Doc. That helps you find stuff faster than using a Google search. That's one of the smart ways to find stuff online. And people always ask me, "Oh, how do you learn your skills? How do you learn this, that?" I never used track before because I never knew about it. I never knew about ICS2, track me, all those stuff. But when I did, I started using it, and track me is actually fun. Hack the Box is actually fun too and stuff. But what I was doing then, I read a lot of books, and it's alarming that a lot of people don't like reading books today. So that's what it is. So I read books. I first joined the cyber program where they trained us for like a while. They trained us, but we basically did some of the stuff ourselves because nobody's gonna hold your hand. Don't wait for anybody to hold your hand. You can do it yourself. Probably gonna take some time. Probably gonna stress you out. Probably gonna put you in pain. By the end of the day, there's no pain, no gain. No, no pain, no gain. That's what it is. So if I was to recommend some books, it depends on what level you've reached and what you've done. Like if you're just starting out, if you already know how to use Linux, then you could learn networks. Yeah, don't learn networks like a network engineer. Learn network as a hacker. There's two different routes. Networking. You could learn networking like a network engineer and stuff. And because the whole logic is you don't want to configure networks and stuff. You want to hack networks. There's two different things. You want to learn vulnerabilities associated with networks, how to bypass this and that, how to hack and stuff. That's what you want to learn, not how to set networks up. But if you end up learning that, it's a plus. But the important thing you should learn is how to hack networks. How does networks actually work? You learn that too. And then you can move on to I used to have hold on. Yeah, so I have to go on mute for a second. But yeah, network. I used to have a whole roadmap one time. Probably go dig that stuff up. Then there's networks. There's now when people say you have to learn scripting, don't rush yourself. Don't rush. There's no rush. Learning scripting or the other stuff. Yeah, learning scripting is good, but um, if you want to learn scripting, I don't advise people to learn Bash first. Might confuse yourself. Probably learn Python first. As it took me about I was telling some people I had to learn Python, and in my college, professor told me, "Oh, you might have to do Python." I'm like, I hate coding. I said like what she told me, whatever you run from today, you will meet it tomorrow. I'm like, can't I just do ethical hacking without learning coding? And she's like, but you can, but why limit yourself when if you learn coding, you could do a lot more than scripting specifically. So like I bought the book on Python. I read the book. I didn't finish the book. I read like three chapters. I closed the book up. Like, no, I'm not doing this. Then, then I went back to her again. I'm like, I can't do this. And she's like, well, you have to. So I went back again. Second time, I couldn't do it. I quit. Went back again, third time, fourth time. I did that for 5 times before I was able to master Python. So that's really what it is. So yeah, next class we could talk more and stuff. So yeah, appreciate y'all for joining, and it was a wonderful session. And I'll post this recording probably on my YouTube. I have a playlist right there, so everybody could check it out and watch it. So yeah, stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a little blessed. I don't know how to put it. But anyways, thank you guys for joining because when this whole class was scheduled, I was so scared because I know that most of my mentees they don't turn up for classes and all. Like I was so amazed seeing so many of you. Thank you guys. Then listening, thank you so much. Like I really, really
No problem.
appreciate. Hey,
Welcome, no
you're
problem.
so
Yeah, so it was a learning ground, you know. Yeah, but we could do this next time. Never know. It's a
yes.
wonderful world full of hackers. Yeah, have a good one. Stay safe and don't stop hacking. Hack the planet.